Hello, my name is Maciek and I'm pastoring the church in Warsaw, Poland. I was asked to share some thoughts for Eurocon that unfortunately this year couldn't happen because of the situation in the world. So I will speak to you from Warsaw, Poland, from the church that I have a privilege to serve God and with beautiful people in this beautiful city. So greetings from Poland, from Warsaw, and hope to see you soon somewhere. But the thing that I want to share with you is the topic on how God create something precious out of nothing. And when I think about this topic, I see even in the first chapter of the Bible, in Genesis 1, we see how God created the whole world. And day by day, he was speaking the word, and everything became alive. Everything happened. Day by day, he was speaking the word, and something that didn't exist now exists. But then we see in verse 26, God said, "Let us create man." Man, that was the crown of his creation. Before man, everything that God made, it was like he said at the end of this every day, he said that was good. But when he created man, he said that was very good. And for me, it's like the man is like crown of his creation. Without man, the creation wasn't full. And then we see the second chapter when we see how God in the sixth day, what he did specifically in the sixth day. And then in verse 7, he started working on man. And I was thinking about angels and watching God creating man and this expectation in their mind, how he's going to do it, how the man will look like, what word he will said to create man. But then we see this surprise that in the sixth day, when God created man, he started doing something different. We see in 7th verse, "And the Lord God formed man out of dust of the ground." Holy God, powerful, almighty God, he's kneeling down, taking by his holy hand, taking the dirt of the earth and start molding the man, creating the man. What a surprise. Angel could see this picture and say, why? But why, God? You're taking your hands and making your hands dirty. You just could say the word and everything will happen. You know, this picture speaks a lot to me, and I want to share more about it. How God is taking something that is worthless, that is nothing, and he making something beautiful. Because then we see in the second part of this verse that then God breathed into the nostril of the breath of life, and the man became a living soul. So God took this dirt of the earth and he molded man, and then he gave the breath of life, and man became alive. You know, when I think about it, when I think about man, how precious man is, in the situation that we're facing right now, when people are living in fear for their lives, people dying out of sicknesses, how precious is the man in the sight of the God. He not only speak the word and man became alive, but he molded in his own hands. He took the worthless dust and he created man. And you know what? In Jeremiah 18, we see this beautiful story about Jeremiah, that God said, go to Potter's house and see what's going on there, because I want to show you something. And Jeremiah went there. And he saw the potter that he was working on some clay, and he was working, but then suddenly something happened, and he was not satisfied with this work, so he just crushed it, melted, and he started working again on this clay to make it as he wanted to be, perfect. It is a beautiful picture. And we see in verse 5 and 6 that the God is the potter and we are the clay. God wants to show us something in this story. And that's what I want to share with you, because I love this story. Because you know what? We as a clay, we don't know the potter's plan. We don't know how he wanted to make us, what he wants to prepare from us. What is his plan for our life? We don't know that. We as a clay, we just know that we have to be on the wheel, and then he is doing something. But on the other hand, the potter, before he will take the clay to his hands, he already knew in his mind what he's going to do with this clay. You know, that's, for me, it's so amazing, because this slogan that we hear, God has a plan, is not only the empty word, that's the reality of life. God has a plan for our lives. God has a plan for every day of my life. And he's working, he's molding me in the image that he wants me to be. I'm just a clay. I'm just a word of dust. Ephesians 1:4 says that he knew me before I was even born. He has a plan for my life. You know, sometimes we look on our lives and situations that is happening in our lives, and we are, what's going on? God, where are you? What's going on? And you know what? We can trust God, because he knows what he's gonna do. He knows what he wants to do with us. We could say that in the sense that he's creating outside what is already inside. He wants to make us in his image. He knows. He knows. But problem is, when we as a clay, we want to know exactly what he wanted to do with our lives, where he leading us, what's the purpose of every situation in our life. But, you know, it's not working like that. I never saw clay speaking to the potter, asking, and why are you doing this? Tell me. No. It's like clay just standing there in this wheel, and the potter is molding something out of that. This is not the life of understanding. This is life of faith, life of trust. God, I want to trust you. I trust you with my life, with everything what is going on in my life, because I know that you molding me in the perfect shape where you want me to do. In fact, the only thing that we should know is the Jeremiah 29:11. I know what's the thoughts I have towards you, thoughts of peace, not evil, to give you expected end. That's what I need to know. And I can rest in my pattern hands. He will work everything in his way and his time. You know, we as a clay, that is something that speaks to me a volume, because clay is something worthless. I check on the internet, you can buy 1 kilo of clay for like 50 cents, maybe. 1 kilo. It's nothing. But when we see the things that was made out of this clay, the most expensive ones cost millions of dollars. And I could ask myself the question, why? Why? It's because of the clay is so expensive? No, it's worthless, we can say. It's only because potter put some value into this clay. It's not about the clay. It's about the potter. My worth is not based on money that I have, education, work, like followers on Instagram, friends on Facebook. None of this. My worth comes from what potter is doing in my life. 2 Corinthians 4:7 says it's not about the clay. It's not about the cup. Everything is about the treasure that is inside. Christ in us. That's the treasure. That is something that is very important. That is something that we need to understand. That it's not about us. It's not about the clay. It's not about the wheel that we are standing in and he's working. Because wheel, what is the wheel? It's just something that is turning around. It's nothing difficult. Just turning around. I think about the wheel, it's like our lives. Sometimes I feel in my life that I'm like this going around, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I'm going around. And that's our life. But it's not about the wheel. Our life is not about the wheel. But our lives is about what's going on this wheel when the wheel is turning around. The work that he is doing in my life, that is important. Not that I'm turning around, not that I'm the clay, but what he, as a potter, is doing with the clay when the wheel is turning around. And sometimes I don't understand. And I might ask why this wheel is turning so fast. Or maybe that why is so slow? Or why is going around and going around? I don't understand. Why are you squeezing this here? Why are you putting... I don't understand. It's like... I love this picture about sun eclipse. Maybe you saw this sun eclipse somewhere. But we have this... Let me draw a picture. I don't know. I'm not the artist, so forgive me. But we see let's say that's the Earth, and that's the sun, big sun that we have, and it's shining and it's beautiful, and we love the weather when the sun is shining and no clouds, and it's beautiful and warm. But we also have moon that is going on around the earth. It's going around. And it's sometimes when the moon is in the right position, he can block all the sun that we can see. And it's dark. Here. The part of the earth is in darkness. And it's not because the sun disappeared, but the moon covered the sun, and we cannot see it. And I love this picture because this is the picture of the situation sometimes in our lives. Sometimes situations cause us thinking that, why? Where are you, God? Why this is happening to me? I should walk in the light, but now it's dark. Why, God? Why? What's going on? But you know what? God didn't disappear. God is still there. But maybe situation in my life just cover this. And I cannot see because I'm focused on this situation. I'm focusing on the moon and I see just the darkness and I don't see the sun. And sometimes instead of panicking, instead of fighting, just wait. And moon will go. We will move. And sun will shine again. Sometimes in our life we just need to trust God. That He knows what He is doing. That He is molding this clay on His wheel. Because He knows what to do. He is a good potter. He knows what He's doing. Just trust God. And I think it's that we need to understand that God is there always for us. He's making something in our lives. And you know, these difficulties in our life, the situation that we are facing in our lives, they are temporary. They will go. But the things that God made, God taught us in this situation, will stay with us for eternity. When we learn how to trust Him, when we learn how to count on Him in every situation, what He will do in our lives in those situations will stay forever. Situation will pass. Moon will go. And sun will shine again. That's why I think that the key in our lives is not the situation in our life, but what He is doing in our lives in the situation. Do we trust Him? Do we believe Him? Because sometimes the potter has to do some work in our life. One of those is purification. He needs to, when we read this verse in Jeremiah 18:4, we saw this pattern that is a pattern that he's working on the clay, he's working, and then it's not good. And then he needs to crush everything and start working again. And you know what? It's sometimes when we look at this, we could ask, but why? What are you doing? The hands that create this jar of clay, the same hands are destroying this? Why? Something's wrong here. What's wrong with you? Why are you destroying everything? But you know what? Maybe we don't see something that potter is seeing. Maybe there is some scratch. Maybe there is some bubble of air. And he knows that if he will live like that, and he will put to the furnace to make this hard, the whole jar will explode. That's why he said, it's not perfect. It's not right. I need to do it again. And you know what? For me, it's like grace and mercy of potter is making me brand new. He says, let's do it again. Let's start again. I fall, and he said, stand up. Let's go. Let's do it again. It's not too late. I have a plan for you. I want to create you in my image. I have some work to do in your life. Let's do it. I'm not finished with you. I'm not going to put you to garbage because there is some scratch. I wanted to create something special. That's why. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. No. That's why we as a clay, we need to trust the potter. Because he knows better. He knows. Because clay is blind in their own imperfections. We don't see in a mirror things that we see so easily in other people. But the potter, he sees and he knows. I need to make this again. This is not perfect. And I think that God to use us, He needs to take off all the imperfection that we have, all the worldly things, all the sin. It's like, come on, I don't want this. I want to make you perfect. Let's work on that. Let's start again. You fall, but let me work on you. And I think that as long we will play with sin, with the world in our lives, that long we will postpone the finish of that what God wants us to became. That's why he said, just trust me and let me mold you in my image. That says to me that sometimes he needs to crush our life. But, the potter to work with the clay cannot be hard. That's why he needs to sometimes make us mold and well moisturize. That the water has to be there. That clay could be useful, that we can work on that. And, sometimes he needs to melt us. Psalm 51:70 says that he looks for broken spirit and humble heart. That's what he looking for us, in us. The broken spirit and humble heart. God, I'm all yours. Made me a vessel of your glory. The way you want it to me. You want me to be. I trust you, God. Please, make me a vessel of your glory. Take everything what you need. Just use me in your way. And you know what? And to finish this, to wrap up all this, I want to leave you with this thought. Despite what's going on in your life, despite what's going on in the world around you, stay in the wheel. Stay in the wheel. Why is this so important for me? Because I learned that it's so easy for us to stay in the wheel when everything is great, when everything is okay. When we have a great job, great family, everything is going well in our lives. We are healthy. Even when we go to church, we find parking spots right in the next to the entrance. Every time. When we going, always we have this green light. We don't have to stay on the red. And it's like everything is perfect. It's so easy to stay in the wheel where everything is okay. But when something is wrong, something is not the way that I will expect, it's so easy for us to step down from the wheel and say, hey, God, hello. That's not what I expect. That's not what I'm signed for. I don't want it. Sickness? Viruses? Losing job? Kids that don't want to go with God, walk with God. Hey, God, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't want this. I know. Life sometimes is difficult. Everyone experience this. But you know what? But please, stay in the wheel. Let him work. Let him finish what he started. Don't turn back on God and say, it's not what I wanted, God. The wheel is turning too fast. Please, stay in the wheel. I know we all make mistakes. We're falling down. But you know what is great with God? When we fall, when we made mistake, he's not taking us and throwing to the garbage. Just put more water. And he's starting working again. And he's starting working again. Until he will finish what he started in our lives. That's why Jeremiah 18:4 said that I love God because of that. Because he's taking what is broken and making new. Making new. Making what is the perfect work that he became when he started with you. That's why whatever is in your life, whatever is happening, around us, it's so many things that people are afraid of so many things. But you know what? Whatever is going on, trust God and stay in the will. In the hands of the potter, you are in the safest place because he is doing something in your life. This is not religion. This is like real life. And this is what makes Christianity great, that we don't have to count on ourselves, that we will do from ourselves the great things. No. We are just worthless clay, dirt, that he is taking to his holy hands and he's molding something beautiful out of this. He's doing a great job. That's why by faith I can trust him, and I said, well, God, whatever he's doing, whatever you want to do, please do. I'm just a clay in your hands. Make me a vessel of your glory. God bless you. Thank you very much.